1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Hey screeners, we're back with another episode. I'm Brittany.
I'm Ricky.
And we are
Paper Screen. So Brittany, what have you been up to?
Well, we've been up to, while this is being recorded, it has just been announced that shady ass motherfucker Sam Asari and Britney Spears are getting a divorce. He's trying to sabotage her.
Oh my god.
He's trying to blackmail her. He can't get anything from the prenup, like as far as their marriage, because they weren't married for 24 months. They only lasted 14 months. That guy sucks.
And by the time this episode is out, it's gonna be old news.
Damn you. Ricky, what have you been up to?
I've been still trying to get my film together because it's a long process.
Yeah.
It's a psychological horror thriller.
Ooh.
And it takes place in a gay bathhouse. It's very queer and it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, what about you?
I haven't been through too much. I will say these past couple months I did play and beat Pikmin 4 on the Switch. I bought it and I beat it in like a couple days and then immediately sold it and got almost all my money back. Thank you very much. And then this summer, Zelda Tears...
Summer?
Well, it happened in May. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out, and... As far as games go, yeah. But if anyone has any really awesome Switch games, drop them in the comments.
And if you have any cheat codes, drop it in the comments.
Ooh.
For anything.
For literally anything.
To life.
What do you think about cheat codes?
I only love the cheat codes for Sims. So I can be a millionaire.
I'm talking about the cheat codes that people talk about like online, like literal cheat codes for life.
Like hacks?
Like
like life hacks? You mean like when you cook?
No,
oh
like someone will be like, hey, like 4445, like manifest those numbers and it will bring you like abundance and wealth, like cheat codes.
I do not believe in that. What kind of spiritual shit are you?
I'm just saying I've heard of it.
Okay.
But I think it all kind of stems, I might be wrong, but I think it stems from Nikola Tesla saying 369, like if you can...
369, very fine.
He said something like 369 is the answer to the universe. Anyway, what movie are we going to be talking about today?
In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the fantastic horror film, BEAU is Afraid. And why are we talking about this film? Because it's Ari Aster's third film, and we love Hereditary, we love Midsommar. And for those who don't know what this film is about, I could barely tell you. But basically, Joaquin Phoenix, he's like the main character, and he's got like some sort of anxiety. Basically, he's scared of everything. Mm-hmm. But, he's also dealing with, there's a sudden death with his mother, and he has to travel back to his mom's funeral. And basically, in his journey, he goes through like this whole nightmare fuel adventure. And it's just crazy. And the whole time you're just like, what is going on in this movie? And it feels very fantastical and like fantasy, drama, comedy.
It's very artistic.
But yeah, it's starring Joaquin Phoenix, Patti LuPone, Parker Posey, Nathan Lane, Zoe Lister-Jones, and Armin Nahabatin.
Okay, so BEAU is Afraid. Okay, the budget. Actually, why don't you take a guess?
I want to say like 30 million.
Super close, 35 million.
Wow. And then the box office.
Okay, the box office is a remarkable 8 million.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
That's like shocking.
Yeah.
For Ari Aster.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the movie just looks so weird, and I don't think people talked about it. Like, there wasn't the buzz that Hereditary and Midsommar had. Right. So you and Pinky had separately like texted me like, hey, did you see BEAU is Afraid? Like that movie, it's crazy. And you're both just kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure if I would say it's a horror, but it's certainly like it's a very interesting movie. It's very like strange. But definitely intrigued me. I think I like wasn't super stoked for it because I could tell from the trailer that it wasn't like a literal horror, but I wanted to see it because it's Ari Aster. And I used to also like be so into Joaquin Phoenix when I was like Signs.
Yeah.
Basically, he's such a babe in that. I couldn't figure out, like, we talked about this, and I guess it's like a global phenomenon, but like it's like him at different ages is like the poster. We don't really know much about the movie. It's just like him, old man him, and then young him, and like for sure that young him was like they like did like a really good like CGI of like Joaquin Phoenix young.
It's AI.
Like, and it turns out to be a real kid.
Yeah, Armin.
Oh right, yeah. Unfortunately, I waited too long and I rented it, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was still fun, like as much.
It's sad that you didn't get to experience it in the theater.
I know. If there ever is like a screening, I'm definitely going to go to it. But what was your movie experience?
I saw this at the Alamo Draft House and really cool theater, by the way. I remember watching the trailer and I was like, this is different. You know, it doesn't give me horror vibes, but it was like classified as one. My boyfriend said that it kind of reminded him of like Everything Everywhere, where it's just like weird shit happening. And that was not the vibe that I got, but okay. So he wanted to go see it with me, and I was like, okay, let's go. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It was like such a wild ride.
Yeah.
Like, the first half of the movie is so intense. The rest of the movie is just so different. I'm like, okay. Once the movie ended, I just kind of sat there like, what did we just watch? Like I was kind of like meh the whole time. I don't know. I think I liked it. I mean, I liked some of it, some funny moments. It's definitely a trip.
Yeah. I just kind of want to get like all of his movies like have like a whole thing about mental illness. In Hereditary, it's like it's not mental illness. They have there's a possession. There's like this evil spirit, and like again, like I was saying, that's like problematic.
Yeah.
Because historically, people have been fucking murdered because they were mentally ill, and then. In Midsummer, in the beginning, her sister kills her parents, and all you know about her sister is she's bipolar. So it's kind of like, okay, thanks. Like, why are you doing that? And then this movie, it's different for this movie because it's more like the whole time you're like, is he schizophrenic or like what is going on? You know? So this movie makes me feel a little bit differently about him because I was like, is this guy just like one of those people that's just like, mental illness?
Yeah.
But this movie, I'm like, oh, he's had severe anxiety experiences for sure.
Yeah.
Because that first 20 minutes is like...
I was going to say, I think Ari Aster also has mommy issues.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, Hereditary and then this movie.
Damn, dude. Yeah.
I'm like, are you okay?
Mm-hmm. This is like the most mommy issue.
He has like some family trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like his short film.
Oh yeah, his short film.
That's fucking messed up.
Meet the Johnsons, or dude. That out of all of his movies, that's the one that's like, God.
That's the most fucked up one.
Yeah,
and oh my God, if he made that into a feature, I would watch it. Anyways, here's what I thought the movie was going to be about. BEAU's character, his journey, is him going through like he's stuck in limbo. And this whole time he's trying to escape like the different parts of limbo or purgatory to get to his mom. Because that's why we get this ending. But also I have another theory.
Okay.
I think at some point he dies in the middle of the movie. So everything that we're seeing at the like going towards the end is just like imagination before he's like dying. The
whole first bit, I was like the whole first 20 minutes before he wakes up at that family's house, I was like, this guy has like severe social anxiety. Like this hyper crazy ass world we're seeing is like how he feels in it. It's so crazy and terrifying, and it feels anxious, you know. And that's when I was like, when he woke up at with the family and stuff, I was like, okay, I'll keep watching, because it was so intense. I was like, I can't watch this fucking movie. It's like hurting my brain, you know. Like I also kind of hate that feeling when it's like anxious, but like when like movies and shows when the storyline is like a person's almost there and then something goes wrong, and then something goes wrong. Like that kind of a thing. I hate that. So it's kind of giving that too. Tonally, I'm like, okay, it reminded me a lot of like Todd Solondz movies. So he made like Happiness, Storytelling, Welcome to the Dollhouse, like this kind of strange, it's kind of like melodramatic, but I started to think it was like a straight up comedy because it was so funny, but it was so strange. And then because it opens with like him and his therapist.
Right.
So I think by the midway point, I was like, I think this movie was written from the perspective of someone this is like an expression of working through therapy.
Oh.
Is like how I saw it because of like the tremendous ups and downs of like the complicated relationship with his mother, who is his abuser. Mm-hmm. And then like the paranoia and like just, I don't know, like all of that. But then toward the end of the movie, I was like, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Because, like, I wasn't totally surprised about the mom being alive. Because, because her death was just so, it was like, what?
It surprised me. And I thought she was not real.
Oh.
I was like, she's not real.
The Parker Posey turning into the doll was like a riot. I was like, oh my God.
Wait, did she turn into a doll or did she just die frozen?
Well, she like definitely looks like a doll when she's dead frozen.
Yeah.
She just looked really fake to me. So.
Right. It was kind of like, whoa, 'cause she's just like.
Yeah, like fucking crazy.
It's like in The Ring when you see the girl in the closet. That's
oh my God, yes. They're like, we're going to use that same prop. When he was a kid and like it's just kind of like his memory is clearly romantic, like the whole thing, it's like the way it's like shot and everything, it's like this very like warm, beautiful cruise. But his mom's just like always a bitch, like constantly through his whole life, like really guilt trippy and manipulative. Like, dude, he lost his key and he's being harassed by his neighbor and your son's clearly like extremely paranoid and you're just like, oh, you can't come see me. Like, just so you're like, hey bitch, shut the fuck up. Like he's like he's stressed out, like don't be like that. And then it's like, oh, she's dead. I still think it's very therapeutic because I think we'll get to that, but the thing in the attic, I'm like, that seems so therapeutic. Like, one of my favorite parts was when his mom's telling him the story of his father.
Yeah, right before. We're jumping ahead, but okay.
Let's just jump around because the movie's crazy.
For real. Might as well.
Yeah. Oh, I just think it's like shot really beautifully and it's like really intense. And his mom's just like sitting over him in bed as a boy. And she's just like, I met your father. And when we got married, he insisted that we made love, but he had this heart condition, which you have too. And the second you climax, you will die. Your heart will stop. And that's what happened. And like, and the light is like changing colors on her.
Yeah.
And it just looks so cool. But when you find out about this condition and stuff, I mean, immediately I'm like, that's not real.
It's not a real thing.
I didn't believe it. I figured, I thought the dad it was gonna be a thing where it was like a one night stand.
So this movie is basically about how BEAU's mom wouldn't let him come.
I mean,
Mommy wouldn't let him come.
Is that from something?
That TikTok.
Oh, but for real, like, how old is he? He's in his like 50s, probably in the movie. He's never
been with a woman, and he's like still a virgin.
Yeah, and he must not relieve himself because that still would be
because he's scared to.
Yeah, because he thinks his heart will stop. But like, that's also not really realistic because he would definitely have wet dreams, right? That's like a part of puberty.
But you don't climax when you're having wet dreams.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do. That's why it's wet.
I think it just oozes out.
But you don't think it's like an orgasm? Women orgasm. Yeah.
TMI.
It just oozes out.
Let's go back to the beginning because I want to talk about like whole scene of him like in his apartment because that's the part I liked. Is like,
you like the beginning?
Yeah, because it's fucking crazy. It's fucking wild and it's funny as fuck. It kind of reminds me of Mother when like the people start crashing into the house. So there's people, the homeless people on the street are crashing his apartment and they're like partying in there and shit and he's locked out. It was like intense, but also like what's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
You know, it reminded me of downtown LA.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, we were literally in downtown LA watching this movie and I'm like, that's literally outside.
Yeah, LA's been kind of like nasty.
Yeah, so it was just funny to see that scene because, like, I feel like me and my boyfriend, like, make fun of that all the time.
Oh my God.
I know it sounds terrible, but
It's not. Like, if you lived here, you'd be the same way. Like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah, we have a huge homeless problem. Do not move here.
astronomical. Do not move here. I was gonna say, and really quick, just most of the homeless we have in LA are people who lived here. They're not transients. There are people who lived here who, I mean, it is so expensive to live here, and if you don't have a support system and something happens, boom.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get into addiction because that's how you can sleep through the night. True story.
Right.
Or you have to stay awake at night so your stuff doesn't get stolen. But it's true. Anyway, it's a nightmare. Like BEAU is Afraid.
I liked that scene. That man is like chasing him.
Yeah, the naked man with a knife.
Yeah, and then he gets hit by a truck basically, and it's like that couple. It was like a delivery truck, but like the lady is like a nurse.
And the husband's a doctor or a surgeon.
So maybe they were carrying like medical supplies or something.
Do you want to hear a theory I heard?
Yeah.
They're like a mental hospital, and and she's a nurse, and the guy's a doctor. Because they're like not letting him leave. They're talking to him like he's a baby. She's kind of nursing him. You know, he's like a doctor checking his wounds. The man and the daughter. Like the daughter is clearly just pure rage. And then the man is like this PTSD vet who's like a mute.
Who just lives in this trailer that's like on their yard.
Yeah.
And like the daughter goes to go hook up with him sometime.
Yeah, so I heard that theory and I was like, oh, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, now I see it. Mm-hmm. Or that whole part of the movie at the house was like intense too, because like you get like the crazy daughter that eats the paint. She thinks that like BEAU is like trying to take over her room and
her
like,
dead brother.
Oh yeah, her dead brother. Replace her dead brother, and then you got this military dude who's like helping the daughter, like trying to.
He's like loyal to her.
Don't they send the guy to kill BEAU?
Yeah.
Okay, weird. He's like security.
I don't know if they send him, but they think BEAU is why the daughter dies. But because she drank paint. She's so funny.
That part was nuts.
So when she's just like hates him, she's like, hey, I'm going to drive you to wherever, you know, and he's trying to go to his mom's funeral. And she's like, I'll drive you. And he's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, who asked you to do that? And she just, my parents. Who the fuck would have asked me that? Just screams at him. And it's like, I'm like giggling in bed. It's like the middle of the night. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? And then it's like her and her friend, and they're like getting high, and they're just being so mean to him. And they're like, well, to everyone, you raped us. Like, or whatever they're saying, like just little bitches.
I know.
They get him high, and I'm like, don't get this guy high. He can't.
Yeah, he's like, I have to go to my mom's funeral.
Yeah. And then he doesn't get there.
No. Well, how did he ends up back at that house?
I don't remember. That's the weird thing, because she was going to drop him off, and then I don't know what happened, but they're back home, and then she like at some point comes into her brother's bedroom, which is just where BEAU's staying temporarily, and she starts painting the wall. And doesn't she write something like fuck BEAU?
Something like that.
And then what happens?
And then she eats the paint and kills herself. And then like the mom and dad come in and they're like, what the fuck did you do? And you see this doll that's supposed to be the daughter. Well, it's like a dummy, and it's just like outrageous because like the eyes are like bulging.
Yeah. Just horrifying. And the blue paint was such like a bright blue, like powder blue. Like,
I wonder if it like means something.
Yeah, it probably does. It's like medicine. She like OD'd.
Let us know in the comments. All right, so after all that shit, he like escapes the house, finally running away. Don't know where, but they send that military guy to go after him, and basically he's like, he is running in the woods, and all of a sudden, boom, gets knocked out, right? And this is when it gets like, it starts to slow down. And I'm just like, I'm starting to feel like the running time. Because like, where is it going to go now? Because we were stuck in this like house for so long, you know, almost 3-hour movie. So I'm like, where is this going to go? It's got to go somewhere else. We eventually land into this group of people who are
thespians.
And they do like live theater in the woods.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. It gets very fantasy here, which is kind of cool. I mean, but also it starts to feel like a different movie, you know?
Yeah. And it's like this weird, kind of similar to the house. It's like people are just being really kind and like, come stay with us.
Yeah, it's like forced people. It's almost like a cult.
Yeah, totally. Like just really nice and like welcoming and like acting like you're an old friend. Please, no, come watch. You have to. Come sit, watch. We'll help you later, you know?
Yeah. And then like this play that he's watching, which was really interesting, but also like I didn't quite follow it.
Well, because it turns into some wild ass BEAU Is Afraid story.
I know. It's like BEAU thinks like he's this character that's in the play.
Yeah, and
that has lost his children or something.
It's this whole animation. I think like the whole thing is like it's sort of like what could have been. In that story, he becomes a husband and he is like a farmer or carpenter or something, and then he has 3 children.
Yeah.
But then like a flood comes and he loses everyone, even the wife.
Which we don't ever see.
We don't.
Because she doesn't exist.
It's a fantasy. And then he finds his adult children. They're like in a group hug.
Right.
And he's like whimpering, like, I finally found my boys. And you're like, oh my God. And then he says something and his son goes, wait, you've never had sex?
How did you have us? Yeah.
And then BEAU like snaps out of it.
Yeah. So I was so confused.
You didn't feel like it was a dream or like a fantasy the whole time?
Well, I felt like the whole movie was a dream.
Yeah.
Honestly, it felt like a dream.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Who does he meet, maybe?
His dad?
Yeah.
Was this before the military guy finally shows up and he like...
That's how, yeah, the end of that is that whole place is the military thing, which gets so fucking violent.
The guy that plays his fake dad, he shows up, he's like, Luke, I am your father. And BEAU is like, my God, I thought you died.
No, he doesn't. He never says, I'm your dad. He doesn't. He just is like, BEAU? And he's like, I haven't seen you since... in so long, it's so good to see you. And he's just really interested in BEAU. BEAU suddenly is just like, I don't know who you are, I don't remember you. And then all of a sudden BEAU's like, are you my dad? And then the guy like leaves.
Oh.
So that's why we don't know.
Then comes this guy with then comes the military guy with the machine gun and starts,
because he had a tracker on BEAU.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the military guy shows up and he's like shooting at like everyone in the crowd. I don't know. It just reminded me of like America. It was triggering.
Yeah, it was horrifying, especially when it showed he drops his gun and his machine gun is just going into his, like blasting into his body. It's so fucking gross.
Oh my God, that was nuts.
That I'm like closing my eyes like, I don't want that in my brain. I don't want those images in my fucking brain.
But he lives after that though.
That's what's so stupid. Like that's like not stupid, but like this movie's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it blows him apart like he's fucking Swiss cheese. Like it's just like going totally through him in the middle of the woods. Like he wouldn't survive that. He sure as fuck wouldn't be like still chasing BEAU.
Right.
BEAU miraculously gets away.
And he escapes and ends up at his mom's place.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
I was like, it was literally over the river and through the woods.
Oh, cute.
So BEAU finally makes it to his mom's funeral.
At her house.
But yeah, he like shows up and like the funeral's over. And then we see like the casket with like the mom, quote unquote. Which, by the way, the mom got killed by a falling chandelier.
Yeah, and it smashed her face, so she was unrecognizable.
Yeah, and Ari Aster does this a lot. He loves headless people.
He does. Like the family isn't there, and his like uncle kept calling him and being like, you have to get here, you have to be here. Yep, he missed it. And then we're also like finding out his mom's fucking loaded. Because
she's Patti LuPone. Who do you think you are?
Her company is like MW, and that symbol is like, it's on all like the packaged food. It's like the symbol on the microwave. It's like in a commercial.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
It's like everywhere. It's really weird.
It's a cult.
And then, yeah, Parker Posey's like, oh
Oh
my
yeah,
God, I'm late.
she shows up and she's like, she was there for the funeral, but she was also there for other reasons.
She worked with his mom, and she came to the funeral, and then she was kind of awkwardly like, oh, she owes me money.
Yeah.
But it's Beau's like, wait, you're this little girl I like fell in love with on a cruise ship. You were working with my mom? Like, what? And then Beau finally loses his, as they say, V card.
Mm-hmm. She turns into a plastic doll.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, he's just like seeing things.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, okay, he must have died at some point, and this is just like what he thinks he's seeing.
Mm-hmm. Because at the beginning, he took his pill without water.
Oh, yeah. Could that be a placebo?
I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to symbolize anything, like the Matrix.
Right. Okay, so Parker Posey's dead. Surprise, bitch, from Patti LuPone, the Sicilian witch.
My God, I love that.
You know, she's supposed to be in the WandaVision spinoff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Agatha and House of Chaos or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
Anyways, she was doing an interview and she basically spoiled the whole show.
Are you serious?
Well, she gave like spoilers about the show, like her character and stuff, and like everyone who's in it.
Oh shit.
I was like, did she not get the Marvel
right?
contract?
Fucking Marvel Disney, like.
Yeah, but she basically was like, I'm playing a Sicilian witch whose trial is tarot.
Oh my God.
And she said it with confidence.
That's funny.
Anyways, Patti LuPone, she shows up and she's like, really? In my fucking bed? And it's like, wow, so she's not dead.
It's like horrifying. He just like went through hell to like he thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
He feels responsible anyway because she made him feel so guilty. And then, yeah, he gets there. He's like loses his virginity. Oh, wait a minute. It's a doll. Like, hi, Mom. And she never wanted him to come.
And he was fine.
Yeah, totally fine because she was
Unless he died right there.
Oh, my gosh.
That's why the mom's there. Yeah.
I never... Dude.
Maybe they both, like...
Because like, the woman dies, but maybe she doesn't die. He did. And that's why the mom's there.
Yeah.
Because she's dead. She didn't really fake her death. But then why is the therapist there?
Because he's not real either.
Dude, the whole therapist there is like so fucking uncomfortable. Because he's just smiling.
Yeah, he's such an interesting looking character.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look like a real person.
Yeah.
And neither does that kid.
Yeah.
No offense.
That poor kid.
That motherfucker is not real.
He would like make TikToks and he's like, hey guys, I'm real.
Should we talk about Dick Monster?
Yeah. It's time for the Dick Monster.
Yeah. So also Patti LuPone has this like fucking wig on and you could tell.
Yeah.
I'm like, her hair like that. Sorry. It's probably gray underneath. Yeah, so we get this like story of Patti LuPone. She's like explaining what happened to the dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real, the real story. That he didn't leave, that he was like locked up in the attic, right? Or like, no wait, the little brother.
Yeah. So throughout the whole movie, Beau keeps having that like dream. And it's where his mom's going to have him and his brother take a bath, but his brother doesn't want to. And then he watches his twin or whatever get locked into the attic. But as far as Beau's aware, he doesn't have a brother. So it's like a dream. Like it wasn't real.
So the brother is not real.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, oh no, his brother is real. And it's like I think I was thinking he is his brother. And his mom locked him in the attic.
Oh.
And it's like a weird trauma defense. Is like he detached himself and made it a separate, like. So
she put him in the attic.
Yeah, that's how I understood it.
So what's in the attic?
So he goes into the attic. His mom's like, "You want to see if I can come see it?" She's just like always freaking out. He walks up. We see something in the distance. We're like, "Oh my god, what is that?" And it's a giant penis. It's a giant monstrous penis.
It's not a giant monstrous penis. It's a penis monster. And it's like, hey, son.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking weird.
So weird. So
incredible, though.
Amazing. I know. It's like this movie, just every twist and turn. How do you interpret it?
I don't know. At this point, I was like, this movie's crazy.
Yeah.
We also see the little brother, too. Isn't he, like, chained up?
So you see the little brother chained up, and then the next thing you know, we see the penis. So I think, like, the little brother character, which is, like, basically BEAU, because it's his twin, basically. I think it turns into the penis.
Because the dad is a real penis. I mean, like, he's a dick.
I see.
Like a dick person. That's why he's portrayed as a monster penis. What did you interpret it as?
So I thought it had to have been something about, like, the phallic, like, if you want to get, like, Freudian, I thought it was something to do with, like, his manhood and his father, and how they've both been trapped. She locked them both away because she didn't want him to come. She also manipulates and controls him so he doesn't have, like, autonomy, and then he doesn't know fucking about his dad, really, and it's been, like, locked away, imprisoned, and forgotten in an attic. So it's, like, how I interpreted it. I don't know if there's any, like, I didn't really research if, like, Ari had ever explained anything.
He was tripping on balls when he made this movie.
God, for real, just every day, like.
So then after that, what happens?
Is that when
the military guy comes crashing through the window?
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
annoying.
this guy again?
Yeah.
And then I don't know how he dies. I forgot.
I don't either.
Wasn't sure if, like, the penis monster, like,
ate him or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Or does the mom? I don't know.
Yeah, I started losing brain cells at this point.
Yeah, it was like, this is hog wild. Like, what's next? Oh yeah, and that's the whole thing. Is like the mom starts listening to all the tapes of the therapist who had, like, taped all of their sessions. And the mom's just like, you said this about me? And, like, and it's, like, so frustrating because he felt so tormented and guilty to even get to that place in therapy, to, like, admit that his mom had done bad things. And that's just, like, I think it that's why I was saying I feel like maybe when Ari had written it or something, he had worked through some stuff, because it just really seems like the journey of therapy, like, because you feel responsible, you feel guilty, and it's really hard to admit that people in your life abused you.
Yeah.
It's, like, really hard to admit that. It's like a journey. And then it's sort of like, then his, like, great fear is happening. She hears him. He wasn't safe with the therapist. He was never safe saying that his mom's here. She's, again, making him feel like he's wrong. Like, it's just so, you're just like, what is this fucking movie, dude?
Okay, so he ends up, like, choking his mom.
Oh, yeah.
And she dies.
He chokes the shit out of her. Like, damn. I was like, good for you.
I mean, yeah, she was a bitch.
And she kind of was, like, egging him on to do it.
Right. Choke me.
Oh, God.
Do it. So after he kills his mom, what happens? He gets on a boat, right? And he, like, wanders into, like, the ocean.
And he's slowly just going out to the sea.
He, like, drifts towards, like, these rocks, and it turns into a cave. Boom. Mm-hmm. We're in, like, some sort of, like,
Cave Coliseum.
Cave Coliseum. It looks like, I don't know, the fucking Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like a trial. There's, like,
yes.
all these people there, like, watching.
It's very Harry Potter. What did they even fucking talk about? Are they just deciding if he was, like, a shit son?
Yeah, I think they're like, well, all these other people, like, show up and they, like, kill him.
Well, they vote. Remember, he's on his boat, and they basically they vote that he is, like, bad or guilty.
Yeah.
And then his boat just, like,
starts to
folds into itself, and, like, water sprays up.
Yeah, that part was, like, confusing to me. Because, like, he's on a trial, basically. To go where, though? Like, if they
I don't know.
voted, like, yes, you're a good person, is he going to go to heaven? Is he going to go to hell? Is that what that whole scene was about?
Now that we're just because we've been talking about it and stuff, maybe it was like if he was in a facility, that whole movie, it was like the facility deciding if he's okay to leave.
Yeah.
And if they determined no, he kind of died because he's like, I'm stuck here.
I think it would have been crazy if like the film ended with like him waking up back in his apartment.
It was all a dream, dude.
Well, no, like you could have interpreted it anyway. Like, they like basically sent him back to.
Oh, like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be such a nightmare.
Like now you have to relive your journey again.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted the movie to be. So that's BEAU is Afraid, y'all. Thank you for this journey.
Yeah. Please let us know if you have theories or like interpretations. I want to hear everyone's because it's just so bizarre.
I agree. Final thoughts on this movie?
After everything, I did really like it. Like I definitely went the beginning part. Like I said, I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like anxiety, social anxiety, especially. But the further, like I think the animation scene was so touching and like tender and vulnerable and like devastating that like it made me a lot more invested in BEAU. And then I liked it by the end, but yeah, his mom was just so unbearable. It's just art. So that's kind of, that's just how I thought. I think I don't know. I really want to know what everyone thinks. So please let us know.
I mean, I didn't like this movie as much as a lot of people. It's just a movie that you have to watch again to get it, I think. Because there's just like so many ways to interpret it. I agree that like the theater in the woods scene, like that part, all the animation was a nice break from like the chaos that was in the first half of the movie. It's a wild one. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to seeing Ari's next movie though. I give this 3 out of 5 onions.
That's exactly what I was going to give it, 3 out of 5.
Blooming onions or just regular onions?
Just
or
a regular
rotten onions?
Layered onion. Ooh.
This movie had a lot of layers.
Yeah, so. Definitely. Maybe the most layered onion we've
talked about in a movie.
And it's so layered, we don't even know what the layers are.
And there's a dick monster inside.
Ew. Ugh.
Okay, well, that's the end of this episode. Brittany, where can we find you?
You could find me at humble_book_reviews on Instagram, as well as Britty_gusto. Ricky, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at somecallme_Ricky. And if you liked this episode, you can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Paper Screen Podcast. Smash that like button. And on that note, bye.